Hey, so what we're going to do today is we're going to be taking a look at uh, making an entry, and we're going to see the different types that we have. So what we're going to do is we are going to look at structures and channels and see how they relate to each other and see how they're different. So let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. I'm going to go, I don't have a channel or a structure created, so that's what we're going to do now. And then you can see that I have a home section, which is a single. So there's basically three different types of sections. So there's singles, there's structures, and there's channels. So let's go ahead and make a new section. And this section I'm going to call pages. So this is going to be the section where all of my pages are going to fit in. And this is going to be the section type of structure. And I don't really care about how many max levels that it has. So let's go ahead. Things like that, this looks fine. This looks okay. Although I only have a default configured right now. Entry will be okay because what you'll see a little bit later what I'm going to be doing to that. So now this is pretty important. So when you create a structure, you need to look at the URI format. Now the URI format here is going to put pages and then slash and then whatever the slug is for the particular page. Now that's really not what we want. Structure sections can have a URI that can have nested paths. So if there's any child entries, you can be, let's say if it was documents, you could have your path be documents slash some slug, right? So you have to keep in mind what your format is going to look like, and that can be put in here. Channels, it's pretty much the same thing. Now, we're going to take a look at what structures and channels are, as well as which one to use. Now we'll be looking at building out a structure and a channel. In Craft, structures and channels are both elements. Elements are used for providing a necessarily feel of a content management system. So structures and channels both fall under the entries element type. Structures have a hierarchy to them and can have many entries associated with them. They can be sorted, they can be organized, and once I start digging into it a little bit more, you'll see how you can sort and how you can organize. So, think of it as a menu and a submenu, how they relate to each other. There's a parent and then there's a child. And that's exactly what a structure is. So, like I said, they can have a URI with nested paths. So let's go ahead and change this. I'm going to change pages, and I'm going to say parent.uri, and I'm just going to say /slug. Let's go ahead and actually for that, I am going to change it, and I'm just going to change it to default. So let's go ahead, let's save that. So these are my pages now. The default, let's go into the entry type and let's drag our builder over. So now we have a page builder inside of it. The page builder is the matrix block. And let's actually create another one, and let's call it new section. Or no, let's call it blog. So in this particular one, it will be a channel, and it'll have this format. So you see it's hard-coded as blog and then slug. And then I'm going to create another entry or another template that's going to be blog slash, and then I'm just going to call it entry. I'm going to have another one is an index, and you'll see a little bit later why. So I'm going to save that one as well. So let's just keep that and hit default, and then add in our page builder. Even though sometimes you may not want your a page builder or your matrix blocks to be a part of a blog, because blogs are usually a bit simpler. There's categories and tags usually associated with them, and you might have to structure it a little bit differently than you would. But in this case, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it as simple as possible. So let's go ahead and save that. Now let's go back to our entries and let's start creating some pages. So I'm just going to create an about page, and didn't actually do anything. All right, here we go. So I'm going to say about, let's say about us. So the only thing I have is the text with image, but you'll see what is going to happen and you'll see the dynamics of this. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to create the entry. I'm going to create a couple more. You can duplicate these entries as well. So to duplicate, you just go, make sure it's checked, go to the setting, the little gear, and then you say duplicate. If it has descendants, you can duplicate with that. This is just a single entry, so there's no descendants. So I don't want to duplicate, but I figured I'd show you. So contact us. Let's create that one. Now I'm going to create a few more. I'm going to say resources. So this is where the power of structures comes into play. So let's say that my about us was actually a descendant of resources. So I can simply just drag it and drop it wherever I need to, and the position is automatically saved. Now, what does that do to the URL? So right now, it's actually just about us instead of being under resources. So let's go and let's see what happens. So, okay, it's saying it doesn't like the template. It's not there. All right, so what can we do to fix it? So let's keep in mind here when this was created, let me open up another tab. So under the sections, under the pages, it's going to be looking for the parent URI / slug, right? And it's going to be looking at the default twig file under the pages. So it looks like it's okay, but what's really going on here? So in order to really fix it, what we need to do is we're going to have to change, let's see here. So about us, resources is the parent. Let's save. Now let's see it. So there, it looks like it's fine, it's perfect. So let's go ahead and let's hit this again. Now all of a sudden, it works. Same thing here. So let's go and let's add a little block just to get a heading out. So I'm going to go to my blocks folder inside the templates, and I'm going to say new file, and I'm just going to say headline.twig. In this, I'm just going to keep it super simple. I'm going to, oops. I'm just going to spit out an H1, and this is what we're going to do. I'm going to have a field called headline. So I'm just going to say block headline, and let's just do raw for right now. So let me go ahead and save that. Now I need to create that field inside the CMS, inside the page builder to be exact. So it's just going to be in a text field. So I'm just going to go to my block type. I'm going to say headline, not headline. The field, I'm just going to say text. Actually, I'm going to say headline. I'm going to keep it the same. Instructions, no. We're just going to keep it plain text for right now. And let's just go ahead and save that. So let's see what happens here whenever we go and edit this about us. So let's add the headline. Let's just say about us. Let's save it. Now let's go to resources, headline. Let's say resources, save it. Now let's go back and just check out what we did. So here is our headline block with the word resources called out. And that's pretty much the power of these section or these structure entries. You know, they're really flexible. It's a very, very flexible tool. They're a very, very flexible element, rather. You can put anything you really want into it. So let's say if you're making a heading, or not a heading, I'm sorry. Let's say if you were making a menu, you can simply just reorder the menu by dragging and dropping. You know, you can have this menu item be ahead of the Contact Us menu item just by dragging and dropping. So that's really the power of these. So let's go ahead and let's switch over to the blog channel. So let's create an entry there, and let's just say, you know, first blog entry. So let's go ahead and create the entry. Now, we can't actually display the page. It's not going to find the template. So what you can see is it actually did its job in putting the blog section or the segment first, and then the slug name. So that's great. That's good stuff right there. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. It just can't find the template. So we do need to make the template. We can literally just copy from the pages template. So inside of templates, I'm going to make a new one called blog. It's a new folder rather. And then I'm just going to say, was it underscore entry dot twig? And honestly, I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste that in there. And it's going to work. So it's really as easy as that. It's not necessarily too terrible to do, but you get the idea. So let's go ahead and let's add another one. So let's do second blog entry, and let's just go ahead and create that. Now you can see I can't move these around. That's because it's a channel. Now I can sort them here by post date, but I can't necessarily drag and drop them in a specific order. So that is the challenge of the channels, but that's okay. They do serve a purpose. It's more for blogs and news feeds and things like that. Now, channels are just like structures, but they have a key difference in how they actually work. You can see that there's no option here to reorganize it. You know, there's nothing there. So you can't drag and drop it to reorder it. And really, these channels are used for similar content, so news feeds and blogs. So if something has similar content like that on your pages, then you would group them together, have them in a channel, and basically let the CMS do the work. So you can create different structures. Don't think that you're just limited to one set of structure. Let's say if you had, another structure that you wanted to implement, you could say that's products. And so what's that slug going to be? It's probably going to be products and then a slug, right? And then you may or may not have a different type of template file to use against that. And actually it would be a structure. So you see the power of Craft CMS and how it relates to, you can see the power of Craft CMS and how you can use it to your advantage. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save that, even though it doesn't exist yet. Well, actually, I'm going to change this. I'm just going to say pages. I'm just going to say default. Most everything will be default. So let me go back to it because I didn't put in the entry type. And let's just say page builder. So now when I go to create a new entry for that section, you see it's on the sidebar right here. If you hit that, you can do a new blog entry, a new pages entry, or a new products entry. So let's just go ahead and add a new product entry. So this is product number 1, create entry, product number 2. Let's just go ahead and make that one, create that entry. So now these are the ones under products, and the URL, it's products / and then the slug. So I hope this is making sense now. For products, let's go ahead and create a new folder called products. And I'm going to create a file within that called default.twig. Now default is going to be the same thing as the pages default. So let's go ahead and save that. Also, there should be, oh no, I guess we're fine. Okay, so I'm going to make another file, and I am going inside products, and I'm going to call it index. So index will be picked up because it's named index whenever I hit the products URL, just products. Whenever I hit that slug, it's going to go to the index twig page. Now, let me go in here and change out where this is routing to, where the section for the products is routing to. So right now, the template is in pages. I'm going to erase that and I'm going to put products. Okay, good. So now, since we've saved that and we've edited it, so let's go back to an entry and let's do this. Okay, so we're still good, right? So let me go back and let me see if I can spit out all of the products for this. So let me just remove this. Oh, it didn't find it. So, okay. So what do we have to do? So the first thing, oh, I see what happened here. So let me just rename it to index.twig. All right, there we go. So sorry about that. So now what I want to do is I just want to write a simple query in a loop to get and output the different products that are in the database. So how I can do that is inside the twig file. Let's go ahead and let's create our query. So I'm just going to say set products query equals craft dot entries, and I'm going to say section, and then I'm going to say products. And do I want, actually I'm going to just limit this to 10 for right now. Now let's go ahead and now we actually have to set all of the entries. So I'm going to say set entries equals products query dot all, because I want to grab all the query results. Now here is where I want to do just a little simple for loop. So let me go ahead and do for. I'm going to say entry, oops, and entries. Here, let's just make this a list. I didn't pre-plan this, so it might be a little messy. All right, my tabs right, good. So let's go ahead. And I'm just going to say entry title. You know what? Let's have an anchor tag too. I'm going to have to move that. Just going to give it an href, just keeping things really simple. And I'm going to say entry dot URL. So now let's see what we have here. So here we go. You know, this is creating a simple query to get the products and outputting the respective pages. So you can see the usefulness of Craft and how it works, the ease of use. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you want to stay up to date on various web development topics, please hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. See you on the next one.